Hey everyone, Ben from Living Survival, and today it's Leroy versus Jethro, so stick with me. So let's first take a look at how these compare stat-wise. They're similar in size. One is obviously a buoy, and the Jethro is a drop point with sort of a recurve in it, almost like a kukri. They share the same handle, the same TPE handle, and they're both the same steel, HCR13, with that titanium coating that Schrade puts on their blades. The SCH45 or Leroy has a 10.35 inch blade with a 6.14 inch handle with 16.49 inches overall, as compared to the Jethro, which has a little bit longer blade, 11.89, same exact size handle. It's actually the same exact handle scales, and an overall of 18 inches. So a little bit longer on the Jethro. Weight-wise, they're pretty similar as well. The Jethro is 1.62 pounds, whereas the Leroy is 1.3 pounds. Take a closer look at the SCH45. You can see the TPE handle there, which I really like. It's really comfortable, and it's hard rubber, so it's not as soft as some of the other handle scales that they have on some of their other knives. You've got a lanyard hole, no pommel on the end, but it is full tang, of course. Some jimping up here. It's rather aggressive jimping, but I find it's okay. It's very comfortable in my hand. I really like this finger choil here. I like that when larger choppers have that choil. It gives you some control if you need to do some finer tasks, but let's be honest, this is really just going to be more of a fighting style knife or a large chopping. You can see it's got the HCR13 MOV stainless steel there with the titanium coating. Very good looking knife and very comfortable in the hand. It feels very well balanced, and I think it has a great weight to it. Then we have the newer blade, the SCHF48 or Jethro. Same exact handle scale there. You can see it's got the TPE. They are removable. Same finger choil here, so it really feels about the same up until this point. And then of course you've got this drop point sort of kukri bolo style knife blade. Same exact steel, the HCR13 stainless with the titanium coating as well. And looking at the blades, they're pretty similar. You can see the Jethro is just a little bit wider there in the belly, and of course more of a fighting style with the buoy, and more of just an all-out chopper with the Jethro. So as far as grip goes, you can grip the knife all the way forward with that finger choil for some finer control, and then you have sort of a middle of the grip hold here, and then you have a further back hold. Now my pinky just barely fits in that rear grip. It's still comfortable. It'd be nice if it was just a little bit wider there for my hand, but it is still comfortable. But I'm going to try it both ways. I'm going to try just gripping the knife right in the middle there, and then I'm going to choke back just a little bit to see if I can get a little bit more power and see how that feels. You can see it split it down to about there. There we go. Nice. So Jethro is up next. Again, you have that forward grip there for some finer control, and then I'm just going to hold it in the same spot that I was holding Leroy in, which is just the middle of the handle there. I didn't really feel that I needed to choke back at all. All the power was there from the middle of the handle, which is good. I got no shock at all from the Leroy, which is good. Even when it was stopping on the wood there, no shock, so that's really good. And like I said before, I really like these TPE handles. You can see that almost split all the way through. Kind of skimmed off the side. There we go. All the way down. So let's try a larger log here with the Jethro. Right through it. It's a nice solid hit. I knew this was a good piece of hardwood here. This is a good solid hit there. You can see it split down to about here. This is some very, very hard wood here. Got kind of lucky, I think, with that first swing there. See just how hard that wood is. It curved my blade going in there. There we go. One more death blow. Alright, so I got a pretty gnarly piece of hardwood here. Let's try some batoning, starting with Leroy. You can see that's just some very dry, seasoned hardwood there. So although I wouldn't do very much fine work with a large chopper like this, it does have that forward choil, so I do like to just play around with some wood here. Now this is some really hard oak, but it is nice just to see how much control you have. It's actually pretty comfortable. I love these blades with the big belly because you can use any portion of that belly, and it's pretty comfortable no matter where you use it, at least for me. Switch over to Leroy here again with that forward choil there. This one's actually, you can use more of the blade. It's a little more comfortable. I shouldn't say comfortable, it's biting in a little bit easier, but the grip isn't as comfortable. For some reason I'm getting a hot spot on this one. which I don't really get on this one. Yeah, that feels a lot better. I think it's just has something to do with this curve right here. It just fits in the pocket of my hand a lot better. So both do an adequate job of finer tasks, although you're not really going to use this blade too much for that. So I've got some vine here. Now this shouldn't be too much of a problem for either blade, I wouldn't think. Sorry about that, camera. So let's try some much thicker vine here. First with Leroy. Not a problem. Now with Jethro. That was a really thick piece on the end there. Alright, so there's 8 chops with Leroy. So now I'm going to do the same thing right next to it with Jethro. That was a miss. Alright, so there's 8.5 there. So we can compare both of these. This was 8 chops with Leroy and 8 chops with Jethro. You can see that they're both very similar. Now keep in mind, when I do chopping tests, I use hardwood. I don't use soft pine, poplar, or anything like that, because I really want to see how well the blade's going to hold up, and I really want to see the capabilities of the knife. So you can see that they're both pretty even there. I'd say neither one did a better job with 8 chops and took out a nice amount of wood. I also couldn't swing very hard because I had this huge vine above me, but that's okay. When I'm using a knife, you know, I want to see what the knife is capable of doing, not necessarily how hard I can swing it. The harder you swing, the more likely you are to get injured, so that was okay that I couldn't swing as hard as possible. So both these knives come with Schrade's fiber nylon sheaths. Now, I'm not a very big fan of these sheaths. For one, they're not ambidextrous, and me being left-handed makes them practically unusable for me. But here's the Leroy sheath here. It does slip in, offers some retention, but if I wiggled much harder like that, it'll fall right out. So not much retention at all, other than just a simple click, but it does have this Velcro strap here that you can attach to the handle, and then you can also put it through your belt. There's a belt loop on the back. For the Jethro, a little bit different system, more of a ball derrick sheath here. It does slip in again with the same amount of retention. It would slip out if I shook it, so that you have the Velcro there again, you have the belt loop on the back, and then this one comes with sort of an over the shoulder carry option which has these two clips here. Now these clips are plastic, they're not metal, so pretty cheap as far as the sheath goes, but with most of Schrade knives, it does get the job done. Here's how they look side by side in their sheaths. So what are my final thoughts on the SCHF45 and the SCHF48, the Leroy and the Jethro? Well, I like them both. Actually, I love them both. They make great large knives, and I think they're weighted very nicely. They're weighted front to back very nicely, so that means they're very comfortable to use. For me at least, the handle's very comfortable. For me at least, I like that hardened TPE. I don't really like soft TPE, but this TPE is hard enough so that it's not going to fall apart on you, even with some heavy use. It's very comfortable in the hand. I received no shock whatsoever from either blade, even chopping into some of that very, very twisted hard wood. They both do an excellent job at chopping. I'd probably have to tip the hat to the Jethro, the SCHF48, for its chopping ability. It's got that belly, so it's got a little more weight on the front of it, and it does make chopping a lot easier and more comfortable. They both baton about the same, and really what it comes down to when selecting one of these is which preference you have, whether you like a Bowie style knife or you like more of a kukri slash bolo style knife with the recurve and the belly on it. Me personally, I'd rather have the Jethro. I really like that style of knife. I like when larger knives have that belly on them. So for me, it's Jethro all the way, although the SCHF45 again was very comfortable in my hand and very capable. Again, I think the weight is perfect on them. Sometimes with the larger choppers you get a really overly heavy knife and it just becomes a burden to use. These are very nice sort of machete style weight where you can just swing and knock down vines. You can do some quick chopping, and of course you can do the log chopping, splitting, and batoning as well. They're comfortable in the hand when doing finer work, but as I said before, I'm really not going to use that style of knife at all for fine work. So, you know, I just wanted to get a feel of, if I had to, how comfortable would it be? And again, I'd have to tip my hat to the Jethro. Again, it's just a little bit more comfortable. It fits in the pocket of my hand better, so it's more comfortable overall with all tasks. Again, both great knives. They're relatively the same price. I believe the Jethro runs about $82 and the Leroy runs about $75. So I'm going to put some links below to, of course, Schrade's website and of course Amazon, where you can pick these knives up. Anything you purchase through my Amazon links does help support the channel. As far as the sheath goes, I think they're garbage as far as I'm concerned. I really don't like that fiber nylon. I could probably chop right through it with the blade, which, you know, over time, is it going to crack? Is it going to separate? You know, I don't know, but I really don't like when it's plastic molded around the belt loop, because I fear that that's going to wear in or it's going to snap, especially in cold weather. And of course, they're not ambidextrous, so it pretty much makes them unusable for me. I would definitely look into getting either leather sheaths made or some nice quality kydex. After all today's chopping, there is no nicks whatsoever, even chopping through that really hard red oak. There's no nicks or chips or anything like that, and you see that the coating holds up pretty well, although I'll probably strip this coating down. It does hold up really well, and you just scrub this with a little bit of soap, and most of that is just residue from the wood that I was chopping into. So they seem to hold up really well and certainly get the job done for a large chopping knife. So again, I hope you enjoyed this video today. Please give it a big thumbs up for me. Leave me some comments below. In the comments section, you can click show more to see all the links to my social media, where you can give me a like or a follow. And I'd appreciate it if you'd share this video with anybody you think might be interested on your social media using the share button below. As always, guys, if you haven't already done so, please check out that red subscribe button and click it for more videos.